Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Somehow, Pepper is taking on water. Look how frosted up the window is. That's the first sign that the car is full of water. And when I come here and open the door, look at all that water down there. So I'm gonna shop vac that out. Somebody's gonna borrow this car, get that oil out of here and these parts, so they could come get it, use it for a few days. Sometimes that happens because these drains up here are clogged up and it snowed here. It could be a sunroof leak, but this car came from Arizona, so it rarely seen rain. They probably didn't even know it was leaking. Hope it ain't the windshield, but I don't think it is. So let me get Lemonade out of the way, get Pepper in the driveway, and shop vac that water out of there. Whatever's going on with this car, man, it's leaking a lot of water. However, the coolant reservoir is at the minimum mark, so it ain't cooling. Anytime you're gonna loan your car out, make sure it'll last at least a week, so check your oil. I'm gonna put that water to the full mark, and I think we can all agree that this amount of water that came out of the inside of this car is more than a reservoir holds. So I don't think it's coolant. That smell like coolant. Heck, the other side's wet too. I need to get over there and vacuum that side. This side really looks green. Man, I hate to think that's coolant, but I don't know what else it could be that green. So I'm gonna have them run the car for a little while and see if it pops a low coolant light before they loan it out today. All right, I filled up the coolant bottle to full. I'm gonna go ahead and run it, see if that drops before I leave. Have them recheck it. After several minutes of running, it is still up to the max line. It's not hot here yet, but that may be because the thermostat's bad. Anyway, I'm gonna shut it down and tell them to watch it. Well, it turns out that the lady that was going to borrow Pepper, my sister-by-law, doesn't need the car. The rental company that she was renting the car from agreed to extend her rental, so she's good to go. Guess that's good. That gives me some time to check that out and figure out why that green water was in the floor. That was really weird. So I am headed to a doctor's appointment 97 miles away. VA mandated appointment that's in Lexington, Kentucky. So that's where I'm headed. Hour-and-a-half drive. Then after that, I'll probably hit a junkyard or two. And then I'll get back here and get to work on whatever I can, whatever time I have left. If I get back before 6, you know, I hate messing with that S70 in the dark. I'm probably going to have to finish that tomorrow morning sometime. So anyway, let me get down here to Lexington and take care of this appointment and pick it up from there. So here's my philosophy on loaning out your cars or your car. Number one, never loan out your primary vehicle. If somebody needs to borrow your car, there's a reason. Either they jacked their car up, or they wrecked their car, or they didn't take care of their car and it broke down, or they're, you know, in a financial position where they can't afford a car. At any rate, you know, I advise you to never loan out your primary daily driver. Just don't do it. It's not worth the risk. However, if you do decide to do that, you probably should get an agreement that that person is responsible for any accidents. In most cases, if someone owns a vehicle and they have insurance on that vehicle and they get into an accident in your vehicle, they can file a claim on their insurance, because most of these drivers are insured for any vehicle they drive. That includes loaners and rental vehicles for a short period of time. That short period of time for some companies, or at least the one that I have, is 14 days. So I could use somebody's car for 14 days and my coverage will cover their vehicle. I have full coverage on 3 of my vehicles. Maybe 4, but 3 of my vehicles have full coverage. So if these vehicles get into an accident, they're covered minimum by my policy. But again, I would strongly suggest that you make sure that, first of all, the person you're loaning the vehicle to has a valid driver's license. Secondly, that that person you're loaning the vehicle to has insurance. If they don't have insurance, make it a requirement that they put insurance on the car that you're loaning them. Now, if you're loaning somebody the car for a couple of hours, they need it for less than 24 hours, maybe you can get by without doing that. However, if they're going to be borrowing the car for more than 24 hours, man, have them get insurance and cover your vehicle with it. That way, if something happened, you can get reimbursed, or what they call made whole, on your vehicle. Again, I suggest that you do not loan cars out. Prime example. 3 of my cars that I have loaned out have sustained damage, and or 2 of them were totaled. Loaning them out to somebody to use. One of them wasn't 2 blocks from my house. Another one was, the lady was using it for a couple days. We were waiting for a part to arrive for me to fix her car. And you guys may remember that if you've been watching for a long time, I called that vehicle Blue Eyes. That lady was using Blue Eyes for a couple of days. She got a ticket mailed to us for running a red light in another town, the next town over. And she totaled the car, told me she never seen the guy. She don't know where the guy came from. The guy just popped up. And I'm saying, ma'am, that car didn't fall out of the sky, which tells me that you wasn't paying attention. How you crash into somebody so bad that it totals out my 740 and you never seen them? You know, so it just ain't worth it. Say, look, I wish I could, but I can't. I need my vehicle. I'll help you get around if you need a ride. Call Uber. Here's $20 on your Uber tab, something. But you know, don't loan them out. It's just not worth it. Now, one of my cars that was totaled, the car was worth nearly $20,000, and the insurance company offered me $3,200. I laughed at them. They were like, well, what's funny? I said, look, it's not my responsibility to educate you on the values of vehicles, because you're an insurance company. You should know this. However, I will. They had their comparable vehicle sales to justify $3,200, and I gave them comparable vehicle sales to justify $22,000. I said, now, anything short of that, I see you in court. Because I will go to court and sue an insurance company for not doing what they're supposed to do. I pay my insurance. I got several cars covered. Every one of my cars has insurance on it in some capacity, but the ones I drive, like Lemonade, full coverage. Panther, full coverage. Pepper, I believe, has full coverage. I'm not going out like that. These are T5Rs, and they're worth something to some people, and they're not that difficult to sell for a decent amount of money. So I'm not going out like that. These cars have maintenance, money put into them. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to take the loss. So they're covered. And I pay my insurance on time. They don't have to call me and argue, fuss, and fight about their money. If something happened, I don't expect to argue, fuss, and fight about my money. So that's my opinion on it. And I think my daughter keeps full coverage on all her vehicles too. Another philosophy I have about loaning cars out is that if a car is not roadworthy and safe, you shouldn't loan it out. If by chance you ignore my first warning of not loaning it out, but if you decide that you do want to help those people out and loan it out, make sure that car is roadworthy. I hear it all the time. Man, I let this guy borrow my car and now the transmission don't work. Man, I let that guy borrow my car and he sees the engine. Now, I believe that if you have a vehicle that you loan out, it should be roadworthy. And somebody driving your car for 2 days, 4 days, 7 days should not have to do any maintenance upkeep on it. They really shouldn't have to check the oil. If you got to check the oil every day, don't loan it out. They really shouldn't have to check the tires. The tires should be good. They really can't do any maintenance on a transmission or a fuel pump or something like that. So if a car breaks down while somebody is borrowing it for less than 7 days, it's not their fault. And that's my philosophy. It is not their fault. Now, if they go get it banged up in a grocery store, sideswipe a pole, run it out of gas, or have something done to the car which causes the car to break down, then that's on them. But if they sticking the key in it, driving it, and putting gas in it, and that engine seizes or that transmission goes out, how is that possibly their fault? Man, come on. Don't even go there. Yeah, I get these people, man, whoa. You let them borrow a car that broke down on them, you should apologize to them. Just a thought. If you loan your brother-in-law a vehicle, and the second day he had it, he was going to bring it back the third day. The second day he had it, the transmission went out. Do you actually think that your brother-in-law said, man, I'm going to do my best to burn up this transmission before I take James's car back? Example, one of my loan out tragedies, the person hit a parked car. Now, I'm sorry, but if you hit a parked car, that's on you. Hit a parked car. Nonetheless, he had permission to have my vehicle. So, when the time came to have a discussion about it, the guy started in, hey, Robert, let me tell you what happened. Whoa. Listen here, man. Don't worry about it. It's got insurance. It's got full coverage. It'll be all right. Well, let me tell you what happened, man. Listen, there's nothing you can tell me to explain why you hit a parked car. You just don't do it. I've always taught my daughter, don't let people run you off the road. Don't hit stuff that ain't moving. If you hit stuff that ain't moving, that's on you. If somebody run you off the road, run you into a ditch, you hit a pole, you flip over, they gonna keep driving. You don't go off the road unless they hit you. You get some contact. If you don't have contact, you have nothing. It's your word against your word, because they gone. You ain't got nothing. It ain't your word against their word. Now, if you got a dash cam, that might help you out. But in most cases, somebody run you off the side of the road, it may not even be in visibility of your dash cam, but still, You make sure those people hit you before you do anything, or it's gonna be your word against your word. Cause you ain't got nobody, cause they gone, they gonna leave. I ain't never heard of somebody running somebody off the road and then stopping and saying, hey, I'm sorry I ran you off the road. What can I do to help? I take responsibility. That ain't happening. That is not happening. They call them accidents because that's what they are. I know the person I loaned that car to did not wake up that morning and say, man, I'm gonna wreck Robert's car and see what kind of response I get out of him. That didn't happen. It was an accident. He feels horrible about the accident he had. He wished it would never happen. He wished he would have never borrowed the car, likely. So, hey, you know, I don't give people a hard time if something happens when they wreck my car. Now, don't come to me with no nonsense saying that this car appeared out of thin air, you hit it, it wasn't your fault. Oh, it was your fault if you hit somebody. But I'm not going to give you a hard time about it because I let you use the car. I should have known better. That's kind of like me with this guy that's hiding this red 850 from me. I should have known better than to trust somebody that I just met a week prior. I should have known better. I should have done my due diligence to protect myself, or just said, no, I can't finance half the car for you. I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, you come up with all the money or you can't buy the car. That's what I should. Or I should have done a background check. And if I'd have done a background check, I'd have seen the mess that was in this guy's background, and I'd have said no. But I took my chance. I trusted the person. I trusted their word. I trusted them saying they cared about me. I trusted that I had the title, that would encourage them to do the right thing. All three of those things got struck. I got 3 strikes on this thing. I got the title. I still don't have a car. He paid a little bit more than half. Still hadn't paid the balance. And I don't even know where the car is. And obviously the person doesn't care about me. If you read some of the text messages that he sent, you would say, dang, I didn't talk to my ex-wife like that. So, as adults, we got to own up to our own mistakes, take the L, move on, and try to do better with our future. I get words of encouragement from my viewers, from you guys all the time. Hey, Robert, man, you can't drive all the way over there, show up, start doing work without some money. You know, get a deposit. Make them pay up front, something. And I have had a couple people pay up front. One of the guys in the Chicago area has paid up front. But most people, I trust that I will show up, do work, tell them what the costs and expenses were, and they will pay me. And 99 times out of 100, or let's say 80% of the time, they pay up. About 20% of the time, they want to negotiate a lower price, and then about 2-3% of the time, they don't want to pay. And you know, I take the L sometimes. You know, it ain't the end of the world. A couple people can't afford to pay. I know that up front. I'm okay with that. But if you hire me to come out there, you tell me you're gonna pay, and you don't, I should have got a deposit. Now, I can take legal action, but I'm not a collector. I do not want to take legal action on collecting my money. I mean, most of the time I help people, man, they paying 50 cents on the dollar. Now, with the way rates are on car repairs and stuff, they paying less than that. They probably paying 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. So most people can afford to do it. I appreciate it. They pay me. I go on about my way. Life is good. So anyway, in recap on this loaning out car deals. Number 1, don't do it. Number 2, if you do it, make sure they have a valid driver's license. Number 3, if you do it, make sure they have automobile insurance if they're going to have the vehicle longer than 24 hours, or have them get insurance on your vehicle. Number 4, make sure the car is roadworthy. You can't hold them responsible if the car breaks down within a week. 5, if you do have issues with the car, make sure you see it every couple of days to take care of those issues. Like if it's leaking oil, you got to add oil every couple of days. See that car every couple of days, add that oil. Your responsibility, maintain your own car. And last but not least, man, if they have an accident in it, understand that they likely did not do that on purpose, and don't let that destroy your relationship or get mad at them and think they did it on purpose. Most people don't want to be involved in an accident, and that's that. Now, the 2 times that my car was deemed a total loss by an insurance company at some point, the insurance company did pay. Now, one of them, the one that I said was worth $22,000, they said it was worth $3,200. At the end of the day, the damage on the vehicle was around $11,000, and they said the vehicle was worth enough that damage did not total out the vehicle. And I got the vehicle fixed. I told them I didn't want no totaled out title. I told them that up front. I said, look, this car's not totaled. I want it fixed. I want the money to fix it, and I don't want my title muddy up with no total loss. And they were like, man, this car is total. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a total loss. They paid me for the damage. I got the car fixed. All is well. So that's kind of my take on loaning out vehicles and dealing with that stuff in a friendly way. Hope that helps. Hey, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. That's kind of more of a story time than anything. But I wanted to let you all know that I did post some more stuff on the website, Car Parts. I got some S60 mirrors on there. I found some more parts I need to get listed. I listed several other of the Hot Wheel models. Some of these things are hard to find, so they're priced a little different. Got them starting at $9.95, going all the way up to the ultra limited cream wagon. So if you guys want those for souvenirs and to support me in that way, I appreciate it. And I'm headed to Chicago today, so I'll be there probably a week. Got some doctor's appointment. They say it's on a Sunday, which is strange. So I got to see what that's all about. But I'm headed that way. And if you're there, I'm supposed to meet with you. I'm not sure how much time I have. One issue I have is I thought I was going to have a shop to work in the whole week, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So if it's cold, I'm not going to be outside freezing myself to death. So it's got to be usually over 45 for me to work outside. If it's under 45, I need to be in the garage, primarily heated garage. But we'll see how that goes, and appreciate you all watching. Appreciate your support. Have a great day.